G'day fam, thank you so much for joining me again. So, part 2 of my solo cast of Who is Jeremy Strong? My last 3 months, no, wow, we are in May. Whew, 5 months. This year, 2019. So I think this is roughly where I got up to last time. I was talking about being in a pretty dark place and that some relatively significant changes had occurred this year. So to backtrack a little bit just to provide the context for today, the end of 2018 was quite a black one for me, quite a dark one. I was feeling very, very lost, very alone, very unsure, very much like an outsider, and hopeless is always the word that comes to mind. It quite often in my bouts of depression throughout my life, hopelessness is, very, very present. It's quite a powerful feeling inside me, which is really sad. But what generally tends to happen is I end up just racking through, just trying to squeeze an idea out of my brain that's going to fix the problem, to end this suffering and provide the light at the end of the tunnel that I need to get me out of the place that I'm at. And what generally tends to happen is I just squeeze and I squeeze and I squeeze and I just don't get one single drop of juice, and that's where I just end up with this feeling of complete hopelessness. Like, what am I doing? How can I possibly make anything of this life when all I come up with is just dead end after dead end in my mind's wanderings? It's just anyway, so I was in that place, I was in this real place of despair and victim, that powerful victim mentality. And so I got to this point, and that point was the Christmas holidays, the summer holidays. And I spent just about the entire 2.5 weeks, or however long it was, in my room at home, barely going out, barely doing anything, just contemplating and racking my brain and lying around feeling miserable and watching Netflix. And toward the second half of it, I started to embrace the idea that I had to do something about this one way or another. I didn't know how or what I would do, but one way or another something had to be done, or I was just going to wind up somewhere I really didn't want to be going forward, or continue, or stay where I was going forward, which wasn't where I wanted to be. And I can't really tell you what it was that got me there, that got me to that point of taking action. I think it was just a deep introspection and exploration of my life and where I was at that point, and a very strong sense of disappointment in myself, and I think luckily enough for me, my desire to have a go at this life, to make a run in this life and create something was strong enough that I recognized that I certainly hadn't had my crack yet. And I needed to do that. It's very hard to explain these feelings in these places, but I'm trying my best. Anyway, I decided to just do something. As I said, I had no idea what it was going to be, and I didn't know what it was going to take to get me out of this. I didn't know at the time whether I could. I think deep down maybe I probably knew that I could, but my ego self, my victimized self, didn't want me to believe it. Anyway, I decided that my action that I was going to take to resurrect myself was that I needed to start feeding myself good quality messages. And I decided to do that through books. So I used to read a lot as a kid, but I haven't read very much at all since my childhood, and I very much struggled. You know, I was your typical person, very, very noisy brain, or mind, can't shut it off, can't sort of sit down and concentrate like that. Find myself reading the same page or sentence over and over again, not absorbing what I'm reading. My mind's always elsewhere. So I said to myself, okay, 15 minutes, that's it. 15 minutes every morning. I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to lie in my hammock with a book, and I'm going to read for 15 minutes every morning before work. And I'm going to read good stuff. I'm going to read non-fiction, you know. And I committed to that, and very much to my benefit, I managed to stick to that. And so I read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which is an incredible life-changing book. In fact, I know a couple of people who have who The Four Agreements has been sort of their turning point, catalyst, if you like. It's quite a boring read. It really is. It was a little bit of a struggle for me to push through it, but the content is brilliant and the message is brilliant, and it's really a stellar book, like hugely beneficial. So I highly recommend. I'll leave the link down below. And after that, I proceeded to The Power of Now. Now, this came highly recommended to me from my brother, who read it a couple of times in a row and got so much from it in quite a difficult point in his life as well. So I decided to tackle that next. And once again, this thing didn't let me down. This was a brilliant message. Even harder to read, really struggled for a guy that struggles to read. Coming into that world with those two books was perhaps not the smartest choice, but the fact that I just committed to 15 minutes every morning was, that got me through. And it took me ages to read those two books, but it's okay, because I just took it in little digestible bites, each time, and I managed to get through. And what I got out of those two books changed my trajectory completely. And from there I went on to read a whole bunch of other books, some awesome ones. Maybe I'll leave like links to my top 5 that I've read this year down below or something, so you can check them out. But the power of changing the narrative, changing the incoming story, messaging, changing the conversation in your life is impactful, like really powerful. So that changed everything for me. Within a month or so, I was in an entirely different place. And so shortly after, sticking or reading those books, I found myself watching more quality videos on YouTube, just in general, just taking in better information into my life, being more selective with the people that I spent my time with. In fact, spending a lot of time alone, just working on that self-talk, that self-messaging, surrounding myself with the vibes that I need to cultivate the person that I want to be. And so what happened next was really cool and really interesting, right? So I have always wanted an online business. I've always wanted to create content, to be a digital nomad. Look, bottom line, I want freedom. I spoke about this in the previous podcast. I need that sensation of being free and living my life by my own design. I want to be able to work from a laptop from anywhere in the world. I want to travel the world. I want to see the world. That's my greatest love, my greatest passion, my greatest interest. We live in the most beautiful, incredible world, and online business is more achievable than ever before. And so I decided, in the back of my mind, I decided that okay, it's time for me to explore the online business route again, because I had been there in the past. I have done network marketing, which is kind of an online business. It's sort of like a grey area online business. I guess it is-ish, but it also generally requires a fair bit of human-to-human networking, and you sort of got to be on the ground, so to speak. So that was sort of one, was an entry point. Learned a lot from that, had a really great experience with that. Wasn't for me in the long run, but learned a lot from that. Then moved into opening a Shopify store, online store, importing goods from China and on-selling them. Did that in partnership with my brother, and that was a great experience. I learned a lot from that, and I did like the business model, but what I found was that I didn't have any particular passion for what we were selling. And it's very difficult for me to do something that I'm not that passionate and interested in. It just is. I find that really hard. I think that's human, right? Like, if you're not that excited about it, it's just another job, it's just work. And so I just sort of we struggled with that for a while, and we did a lot of work, and it never really went anywhere. And look, I guarantee you the reason that we failed at that is because we quit. It's the only reason anyone fails at things, quitting. Like, if you just persevere and stick it out, you'll figure it out. Humans are incredibly resourceful. We can find a way if we just have the patience and commit. But we didn't, and we didn't. And so that ended prematurely, but I'm very grateful for that experience, because it exposed me to the world of e-commerce and online business, and it just introduced me to all that, and I was, it sparked an interest and excited me enough to be like, yeah, okay, this is the realm that I do want to be in at some stage. So fast forward back to where I was earlier this year, and I was in this place of, all right, I'm ready and starting to become open again to exploring that path. Now, I didn't actually take any action on that initially. I wasn't out there looking at all, and this is the beautiful thing, the beautiful synchronicity of the universe. But I was watching Tony Robbins videos on YouTube, and I just love that man. He's an incredible human being. Anyway, an ad popped up, as they do, and I've always been the person to just wait for the 5 seconds, hand, hovering over the mouse, just like, and click, go, skip, get them into my video. Fuck this ad. Anyway, within the first 5 seconds, the words location independent lifestyle and digital entrepreneur and stuff like that were coming up. And it was like a question of something like, do you want to live the life of location independence or something like that? And I was like, yeah, I do, skip. And I went to watch my video. But that had awoken something in me, right? It had awoken that recognition in my brain that, yeah, I do want that. And so I watched that video, and then I went and watched another one of Tony Robbins, and this same ad popped up again, and I was like, funny. Yeah, I really do want that. Yeah, skip. As soon as the 5 seconds are up, skip. It's my video, watch my video. I think it was the next day, I jumped back on to watch another video. I can't remember if this one was Tony Robbins or not, but once more, same ad pops up. This lovely smiling face of my lovely mentor, one of my lovely mentors. And she's, I think, from memory, in a pool or by a pool, and just really genuine vibe. I got a great vibe from this ad. Anyway, so first 5 seconds go by, and it's speaking my language. I was like, all right, you know what? This is the third time this ad's popped up, and it does have my interest. I'm gonna listen to it. So I sat there for, I think the ad went for between 5 and 7 minutes, and I watched it all. And every word that they said just resonated, just hit home. It was just like, bam, bam. She was just landing punches, but good ones. I was like, oof, oof, oof. And you know what? I think I knew well before the halfway point that I was going to click through and go down this sales funnel, with this ad and see what lay at the other end, because I was curious and I was interested and I was open-minded, because I was like, yep, I want online business. Let's see what they have to offer. Let's see what's on the table here. So followed through, and I'm not going to walk you through the whole process, but basically from word go right up until now, my experience with this online entrepreneurial mentor program, the SFM, the Six Figure Mentors, has been brilliant. They are incredible. The value they offer blows my mind. But more importantly than that, it was one of the company founders, Stuart Ross, who takes you through most of your training videos and introductory videos. He just spoke to me. This guy just felt so sincere, so genuine, and relatable. So relatable, super cool dude. Served it all up to you, just, this is how it is, no bullshit. And sort of called out the best in me. And I had a lot in common with him. We both love outdoor adventure activities and cars, and so immediately from word go, he was talking to me, to who I am. And so basically, from watching that first ad to enrolling with this company and getting started on this journey of becoming an affiliate marketer, it all took place within, about 2 or 3 weeks. I was just so in. I was just so like, yeah, this is just sounding great. I'm ready. You know, the incredible thing about online business, about committing to yourself and, you know, taking that next step, is that you just have to decide. That is all there is to it. You just have to decide, okay, yes, I'm doing this. Is it going to be easy? No. It's going to be what it's going to be, and I'm going to commit to myself to make my life better now. Not later, now, because there's never going to be a perfect time. My finances, and well, in my situation, my finances are probably never going to be in the perfect position for me to start this. I just have to start. I just have to take action. So that's what I did. And, you know, I didn't feel like I had the time spare. I didn't feel like I had the money spare. I didn't feel like I had a lot of things. But I knew that if I didn't start now, I wouldn't start at all. And it was one of those, if not this, then what? If not now, then when? Which I have on my wall, which is why I was looking up there. Situations. So I dived in, and what I noticed over the following months, because the first step in this online business scenario, especially with the six-figure mentors anyway, is all very much personal development related. Something that's important to realize is that, you know, nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And you can't take the person you are now, if you're miserable and unhappy in your life, you cannot take the person that you are in that point and put them into the shoes immediately of a successful online entrepreneur or whatever it is that you want to be. You can't do that. You have to grow into those shoes. It's a journey and a process. And so the SFM, they recognize this, and they understand that in order for you to be successful online, they can't just take someone and plonk them into that position. They have to take that person and build them up and grow, so that that person grows into the person that they need to be to become successful online, and to not only become successful online, but find a place of happiness and fulfillment in their life, a place of purpose. And so the first couple of months of this journey were very much personal development related, and really nailing down on that why, you know, the reason for doing this, the pain, everything you want to achieve, becoming clear on that, you know, recognizing your weaknesses and working on them, and blah blah blah. And that was all, you know, the journey that I went through over those few months was incredible, and I grew so much, and it opened my eyes to so many things that I'd learnt as a young man growing up with my mother and her influence, and reminded me of a lot of things. And it started to put the power back in my hands, which was incredible. That was very hard to explain, but an amazing feeling. It's such an empowering feeling to feel as though you have, not control, because that's not the right word, but a strong say in the way that your life turns out. And not even that, but also that you have the knowledge that wherever you are in life, you are okay. Wherever you are okay. And that we are so much more than just our ego self, which tells us all these things like, I am a victim, I am hurt, I am in pain, this is hard, this is impossible for me, I can't do this, I can't do that. Only a very few lucky people become successful online. You know, all these stories, these narratives that just replay over and over in our head that do not serve us and are false. They are lies. and they are toxic, and they are so damn convincing. And so the journey is, let me be honest with you, is building an online business and becoming successful online easy? No. But it's simple. It's a simple process. It really is. like so simple, like stupidly simple. But it is challenging. Maybe hard isn't the right word. It's not hard, it's challenging. It's learning how to, the biggest part of it is learning to overcome these bullshit stories that we have running around in our heads, these limiting beliefs and doubts. And if you can overcome that, you can do almost anything. So on this journey now, I've been with the company now for I think 4 months, or 4 or 5 months now, and it's been a fucking roller coaster. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this video isn't a sales pitch, but at all. It's me telling you my story, and it's the bare bones of it. It's my truth. It's been tough. It's been challenging. It's been the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, the everything in between. And I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about marketing, advertising, all things online business, which is so cool, because something that I think, actually, this is something I want you to really take on board. If online business interests you, if this is like something that you're considering for yourself, or even doing right now, I want you to consider a perspective shift, because this is something that really got to me. And that is that most people jump into the online business world with the idea that they're gonna make money fast, right? And they're gonna jump on and start making hundreds of bucks and free themselves, and it's gonna be dope. But the funny thing is, like, there's no business on earth that you get into and just start making money overnight like that. Like, it's extremely rare. And what people fail to recognize is that if you're working in a job and you want to get into a better job that's going to be better paying and suit you better, blah blah blah, you most of the time you have to upskill to go from that position to that position, right? And upskilling means education, learning, growing. A lot of the time that costs you money, unless you're an extremely disciplined person and can just watch YouTube tutorials and grow and learn from that, which I find extremely hard, but a lot of people can do that. So the perspective that I took with this is that, okay, I am going into training to upskill myself so that I can take myself from the shitty, fucking monotonous job that I hate so much and step into a place that's going to enable me to create the life of my dreams. Like, that's a big jump. That's a big disparity. That's like, you know, that's huge, right? Going from a shit kicker job earning a minimum wage to the life of your dreams. That doesn't happen overnight. You've got to realize that. That is a process. That is a journey. That is a huge amount of self-growth, a huge amount of business growth, like business maturity. Like, you have to go out there and convince people that you are worth following, listening to, you know, that you're trustworthy, that you are genuine, honest, and that you have their best interests at heart. You know, that takes time. This is relationship building. That is business at the end of the day. And so I looked at it. My perspective with this online business was, okay, I'm upskilling. I'm re-educating myself. This isn't an opportunity for me to go from 0 to 100 real quick. This is an opportunity for me to grow and learn, and the money that it's costing me to have this online business opportunity is like my tuition fees. This is the money that I'm paying to be at school, effectively. Now, the upside of this is that there is potential for you to start making money in this a lot sooner than there would be otherwise. Right? So, I'm not trying to hype anyone up. I'm not trying to give any false expectations or anything, but there are examples of people who replace their incomes in 6 months kind of thing. And it happens. It does happen. If you're prepared to put in the work and fucking drive for it, it does happen. It can happen. So I think they say that a new business takes about 2 years to become profitable, generally. I think as a benchmark. So in my mind, if I start making money through this, enough, to cover my expenses of running the business, which are very, very low, then within 2 years, then I'm ahead. And let's be frank, in the online business world, that's extremely doable. Very, very doable, considering how low your overheads are or can be. Now, obviously, in this world, as with any, the more that you invest in both time and money into this world, the faster that you can excel and grow and make money back. So it doesn't matter whether you've invested in the base plan, or the most expensive high-end package that these companies have to offer, these mentorship companies have to offer. At the end of the day, you're going to get the fastest returns 9 times out of 10 from spending more. But if you look, it's just about, it all boils down to this one thing: how much time and energy you put in. That's all it boils down to. So I'm here and I'm working my ass off, but it's a big one. I'm not very good yet at delegation and organizing and systemizing and prioritizing the things that are going to bring an ROI, the fastest. I'm the type of person that I love lists and I love writing things down that I need to do, and I fill my life with lists and shit. They're all over my walls and on my desk, and I end up getting distracted and put a lot of energy and effort and time into doing the things that aren't the most productive to be bringing money in. And so what happens then is that I end up busy but not productive, and that's a very important definition to learn. So it's very, very easy for most people to get caught in the world of being busy, which feels good sometimes. It makes you feel like you're getting things done because you're ticking things off the list and you're hustling and you're working hard. But if all the items that you're ticking off your list and all the work that you're doing are sort of just little extras here and there that are going to help, but they're not the major steps that are going to take you forward in that business in strides and leaps and bounds, then you're going to burn yourself out. And this is what I struggle with the most in this journey: burning the candle at both ends, doing too much of the unimportant stuff and not enough of the important stuff. And that just comes down to discipline and being smart, thinking smart. So where I'm at with my life right now is that this is where I'm at. I'm in a place where I am learning how to prioritize, learning how to look at everything that needs to be done, organize what needs to be done, and then number them, right? And prioritize the to-dos that are going to bring me the greatest return on investment, whether that's in time or money or whatever. But overall, I think what I'm getting at here is that I'm in a place now of purpose. I'm living a life now of purpose, of feeling on purpose, of feeling like I am working towards something. I have something finally that I can work towards. And this is going back to the pain that I was feeling before, and that is that the great, for me personally, I don't know if this is true for everyone, but I feel like it would be true for a lot of people. The most pain that I can feel is if I have nothing at all in my life to work towards or to feel like I have to achieve. If I am just floating along with no drive, no fire, no passion, no inspiration or motivation, it kills me. It fucking drills into my soul. And that's where that hopeless feeling, that worthless feeling, that what's the point feeling comes in. And so just having something extra on the side, you know, like this, what I'm doing here, for me, that is for me, for my future, for myself, that's feeding my soul and my brain, who I am, is so, so valuable. And it doesn't even matter about the money. And this is going to sound crazy. And don't get me wrong, I want the money, I want that result from this. But the journey, what I have learnt, what I am learning is, oh man, I've got way more than my money's worth just in personal growth from this journey so far already. And all the mentors say this, right? All the mentors say this, that the achievers in this life, the achievers in this world, the successful people that we all look up to and want to be like, they invest in themselves. They invest in themselves. In fact, I think the stats are something like most of them invest 10 to 20% of their net income, in themselves, in personal development and growth. This is huge. This is huge. That's a lot of money. Honestly. Personal growth, personal development is an endless journey. This is not something you do for a little while, master, become enlightened, and then you're there. No, 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 no. This is endless growth. This is an endless journey. This is to your deathbed, if this is the path you choose. If you want to be your best and biggest self, if you want to play your best and biggest game, if you feel like this fucking system that we're all forced into in some way doesn't fit you, or you don't fit it, man, then you better be ready to play your biggest game. And it's tough. But let me tell you something, and I want you to take my words very seriously. I want you to listen to what I'm about to say and really consider it. You'll know instantly whether this is the truth or not. And here it is, okay? If it takes you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to build a successful online business, or just whatever it is that you want to achieve like that, but you get there. Let's use my situation as an example. I'm 27. Let's say it takes me 10 years to become successful online from now. To be living a location independent lifestyle, financially free, with time to spend doing what I love. Let's say it takes me 10 years and I'm 37 when I get to hang up the boots of the 9 to 5 or whatever it might be and get out there and live my best life, the life of my fucking dreams. Making money from a laptop, working a couple of hours a day. If that takes me 10 years, is it worth it? Think about that. 37 or 65? What's the retirement age where you live? I think it's 65 here, or 67 soon, or something like that. Shit, son, that's worth it. That's worth it every fucking day of the year. Because what do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna catch a lucky break? Nah, I'm not gonna put in 10 years of work. I'm gonna catch a lucky. Something will happen. I'll figure it out. Oh yeah, I'll oh yeah, I'll just get lucky somehow. I'll find my way. I'll invest in something. It'll go bang. I'll make money overnight. I'll win the lottery. I'll buy a house somewhere, and it'll blow up in 5 years like mad. And I'll just double my money, and it'll all be sweet. Like, Jesus, you're really gonna put your life, your future, down to chance? You're gonna leave it up to chance? A very slim chance? Shit, I'm not. Because I know I'm young, but at 27 years old, I'm old enough to know this. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Shit doesn't just happen. Life doesn't just serve you up your dreams and goals on a silver platter. It doesn't work that way. There's 7.5 billion people on this planet. That's a lot of competition. The universe provides for those who prove to it that they want what they're after. Not for everyone. It just doesn't work that way. So this isn't going to take me 10 years. I promise you that. It ain't going to take me 10 years. But if it does, it's still worth it. Let's say it takes me 5 years. Fuck, I'll be 32 and free. Jesus, man, 32 and free. Fuck. That puts me in an elite level, right? So I'm excited. I'm excited and I'm interested because I'm learning and growing and I'm taking action towards the life of my dreams. I'm taking action by presenting and being my authentic self, my essence of who I am. I'm putting that out for you to get to know me and understand who I am and what drives me and what pushes me and what interests me. And by doing that, I hope with all my heart to impact as many of you as possible in a positive way and empower you to do whatever it is for you. It doesn't have to have anything to do with what I'm doing. To just step the fuck up and play your bigger game. Play your bigger game. Be your best self. Go where you don't want to go. What's that saying? Everything you need in life is in the place that you least want to go, or something like that. Your greatest dreams and desires live on the other side of fear and discomfort, they say, you know. It's true. It's so true. Just think about the times in your life that you have gone there. You have stepped into discomfort with the heart of a warrior, the courage of a champion. When you have stepped into that place, you've figured it out and you have grown. Even if you didn't figure it out, even if you fell and smashed your face, you grew and you grew stronger and you learned how not to do something. That's just as important as learning how to do something. Learning how not to do something pretty much always precedes learning how to do something. So remember that. Remember that if you can just have the courage in your life to go where you least want to, therein lies the answers to what you want the most and the growth required to get you there. And I am no fucking expert. I promise you that. I am not by any means the greatest example of this getting around. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm trying. And so I want to extend an invitation, because this world of personal development and growth and stepping up and becoming who it is that you want to be, that you really want to be, that your unchained heart wants. That is hard in this world. That is tough. When you're surrounded by people who want you to remain at their level so they feel better about themselves. That is tough. So I want to extend this invitation, and that is to reach out to me if you feel like you are in this place yourself. If you feel like you can relate to me at all, you feel like my energy or my drive will help you in any way, then I guarantee that yours will help me in return, and that we can be a team energetically. Whether you live overseas to me or in the same country or on the Gold Coast around me, hit me up. Please, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to jump on a Skype and hear about what you're trying to do, and let's talk about it. Let's share our life experiences, because together everybody achieves more. We're a team. There is power in numbers. So hit me up on Instagram @_JeremyStrong_. Hit me up on YouTube here, on the podcast app as well, wherever you're listening to this. Send me a message, hit me up if you want, no pressure. And let's learn and grow together and help to cultivate a creative and powerful and exciting and inspired space, so that we can all grow and become our best selves. Because I believe that we're here, right? And one day this is all going to be gone. We're not going to be here anymore. And so, why not? Why not go for it? Why not have a crack? Why not just fucking try? This experience doesn't last forever. Why not just have a go before it's too late, before it's gone and it's just been wasted? Because at the end of the day, we're all going to end up back in the dirt. We'll end up back where we came from. If you fail, you don't have an eternity to suffer. You don't. It all won't matter at one point down the track. None of it will matter anymore. So just fucking go for it. Just take a chance. Come on. Let's take a chance in our lives. Let's do whatever it is, whatever it takes, to just give ourselves the best possible chance of living our best possible life. There's so much beauty and joy and wonder and love and happiness and fulfillment and excitement and purpose and all of that to be had in this lifetime. So much of it. And yet so many of us choose pain and suffering because at the time it feels easier. I've been there. I know probably everyone has too. It ain't easier. The easy road is the hard road, and the hard road is the easy road. The shortcut is the long cut, and the long cut is the shortcut. We know it to be true. We know it to be true. So thank you for tuning in and listening to me and my journey and where I've been what I've been doing over the past couple of months. And I know this episode was kind of very much online business focused, but look, that's very much a part of me. My entrepreneurial spirit is strong, and I don't have all the answers. I absolutely do not. I'm no guru. I don't know everything. I'm learning and growing each and every day, and And all you can do in this life is just to try and be a little bit better the next day. And you're going to fall off the wagon at times, and it's going to be hard, it's going to hurt, and etc., etc. But just get back up and get back on. That's all I can say. So once more, thank you so much for joining me, guys. This was part 2 of who I am, what I do, why I do what I do, what's important to me, and a little bit about, I guess, why this podcast came about. And I really, really sincerely hope that you get something from this, and that maybe we can connect, and who knows what the future holds. Keep that mind open, doors open in the most incredibly bizarre places sometimes. So just always keep that mind open, stay really, really powerfully focused on what it is that you want to achieve in your life. And remember to enjoy the moment. Remember to live in the present, and realize that a perfect balance is the best recipe for a fulfilled life. Presence and happiness and great gratitude for the current moment, wherever you are in your life right now, and a powerful set of goals and intentions, and action towards them for what you wish to achieve for your future present moments. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week for another episode, and we'll have a guest on again. And until then, have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Thank you so much for tuning in again. If you would like to support the podcast, the best way that you can do that is to leave a review, or if you're watching on YouTube, give it a like and leave me a comment. A huge thank you in advance if you do. I'm extremely grateful. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast as much as I did, and don't forget to tune in next week. New podcasts drop every Sunday. Big love.